Good morning, everybody. Phil Cardwell coming to you from Mesa, Arizona. I'm here at Mesa Country Club in my backyard on the 6th tee. Fantastic 420-yard uphill dogleg left with giant eucalyptus trees. A canal 220 yards off the tee that you've got to carry. Left's not good, right's no better. This is one hole where you absolutely have to hit it down the middle or it can get really interesting. That being said, club face alignment to your hands is critical, especially your right hand. I wish I had $1 for every time I heard someone say, "Oh, my right hand took over. Too much right hand." Well, I'm suggesting that if you're a right-handed player, you can't use too much right hand if you're holding the club properly for you. Now listen, I know there's not one grip for everybody, but what I'm going to suggest is for all of you that struggle hooking, blocking, close face issues. Those same players that fight hooks and blocks usually struggle with their short game, pitching off of tight lies, bunker play, lob shots. It's very difficult to do when the club face gets closed relative to your anatomical balance of your right hand. I would love to be able to just smack the ball this way, a square right hand. If I asked you to give me 5, you would square your palm up to it every time, no matter where it is. What I'm suggesting as well is that if that club face matches your right hand, you'll get paid off for squaring up in your natural athletic ability. I see all too often players that have otherwise good-looking grips, but when they stretch out, the club face comes in closed. That has a lot to do with where the club is in your fingers. If you just take your hand and open and close it, your fingers like so, you can see the little nook where your club would slide. It would be directly in the middle section of your fingers. Your fingers have 3 distinct sections: the base, the middle, and the tip. If you hold the club in the middle and close your hand down properly over your thumb, you'll get paid off with a square club face, one that matches your right hand. I see a lot of grips that look good, but if we took a deep look under the hood, we might find that that club is not in the right place. So it's kind of like a house. You see this beautiful house, you wouldn't just buy it, you'd probably want to see what's inside, or a car for that matter. You see this good used car, you like it, probably want to check under the hood. Well, it's under the hood that matters most with the grip, specifically the right hand grip. I'm going to open up my hand and you'll see that the club is lying right across the middle of my fingers here. When I close down, grip looks proper. I'm going to open my hand and put it into the base and then close my hand. You probably can't see the difference. This grip looks good, but because it's in the base, when I stretch out my arm, the club face will be closed. Now I can hit good shots with this, but I've got to get creative. I've got to twist my arm, maybe overuse my body, all things that under the gun might make you inconsistent. I'm not suggesting that there aren't a lot of good players that hold the club a little too high in their right hand, but if you fight blocks, hooks, chunked chips, pitches, deep digging bunker shots, this might really unlock your game. So put the club right in the middle section of your fingers, just like so. If I were to take a bucket, a heavy bucket, this one's not heavy, but if it were full of water and I asked you to carry it very far, you would probably drop it right down into the middle section of your fingers. That would let your arm go into anatomical balance and you could carry it for a long way. If you put the club at the base of your fingers, it would force you into more of a curling type of situation with your forearm and wrist, and you'd fatigue out pretty quickly. That's better. Anatomical balance. It would be the same way you would probably hold a ping pong paddle or a paddleball racket. You would instantly get your racket square to your right hand, and you probably wouldn't need lessons. You could hit it high, low, spin it, but you would match up that club face to your right hand. A lot of golfers don't consider this. I think it's because the club face is so far away, and many times they grip the club down here on the ground and they get their arm turned this way, or they sink in a deep interlock and the club gets here. I'm going to come in really close. Place the club in the middle of your fingers like so. Fold down over your thumb. A nice nuance to this correct grip is this index finger. If I were pulling a trigger, you can see how my index finger aims out to the right, not this way. And again, I can make it look this way with my club too low in my fingers, but you'll see when I stretch out, that's going to twist the club face. I would love to have a grip that lets me let it all out and the club face is pretty square to my hands. Back to that index finger. If I take that trigger finger and I point it down to the ground, you'll see that it's aiming back at my right shoe. That's a huge checkpoint. Index finger, aim back at your right shoe. Club in the middle of your fingers, close over your thumb, index finger at your right shoe. This will really pay off in a good impact. That index finger will support the back of the shaft while keeping the club face aligned. If your hand is under the club like so, and you release this way, that club face is going to be shut. You certainly can fight it off in many different ways, but I'm suggesting, again, that it can be a lot easier. Just a simple look under the hood, get that club into your middle of your fingers, the way your fingers work, and you're really going to improve, especially short game pitching, bunker shots, etc., etc. If I just let my right arm swing on my side, you can see how it swings. If I stop right at impact, my hand will be pretty much like so. I would love for my club face to match that. Holding the club this way might really pay off for you. I hope you're all staying safe during this crazy time, and I look forward to seeing you all back in New York soon. Be well.